Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers preview and analysis. Pittsburgh heading to Lambeau Field Sunday, 4:25 kickoff, Week 4. Very important game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they are underdogs, man. 1-2 team right now. You drop to 1-3 in a competitive AFC North, where the Bengals just got their third win of the season. Of course, beat Pittsburgh in Week 3. You'd really put yourself in a tough spot here. So Pittsburgh has a mountain to climb against a very good Packers team. Let's preview what the Steelers have to do and what to look for Pittsburgh to come out on top in this one. Packers offense, after that dud in week 1 against the Saints, have gotten back on track of the last 2 weeks. Aaron Rodgers in weeks 2 and week 3 has completed 75% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and has looked like the Aaron Rodgers of old as his offense has scored 30 and 35 points in the last 2 games. And so for Pittsburgh, they're gonna have to probably score some points in this one. The defense can hopefully keep the score down, but man, Rodgers looks like there's no slowing down. Top target Devontae Adams. I think he's tied. I think for the NFL in receptions and is first in targets. So he's responsible for a large chunk of the passing offense and trying to slow him down and contain him the way that the game plan was in Week 1 against Stephon Diggs and in Week 2 against Darren Waller will be key in this one. But of course, it's easier said than done. Green Bay lacks a true number 2 wide receiver in this offense, especially with Marquez Valdez Scantling placed on IR. That's definitely a boost for Pittsburgh because Scantling's a vertical threat, 4.3 speed kind of a guy, and Pittsburgh struggled to not allow the big play the last couple of weeks. But Aaron Jones, the running back's kind of their number 2 receiver in that offense. He's got 3 touchdowns receiving, 2 rushing this season. They'll move him around. They'll run some pony formations with 2 running backs on the field to get Jones in the space. And so Green Bay's run game has not been particularly strong this year. If you look at the numbers, Jones averages, I think, 3.94 yards a carry. And they haven't gotten a lot of big plays off of it, but he's a dynamic back who can win in space, and certainly we'll have to see how Devin Bush and Joe Schobert, can those guys contain Jones on the whole route tree? That'll be key in this one. Finally, Pittsburgh's pass rush has to look a whole lot better than it did last week, and it should, obviously, with the return of TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, barring anything unforeseen, recording this Friday night right now. And that Packers offensive line has had a lot of injuries. They got some young guys up front. No David Bakhtiari at left guard. Elton Jenkins is doubtful in this one. So I think they're playing some young guys at left tackle. They got, I think, a rookie guard and Royce Newman, who's, I believe, played well in what I've seen and read a little bit. But still, it's a young group. So Pittsburgh, of course, very little pressure last week, has really felt the loss of guys like Watt and Highsmith and Tyson Alualu, and of course, no Stephon Tuitt this season. Tuitt will not play in Week 4, but Watt and Highsmith should. So, of course, pressure's going to be key. But the Packers know that. They know Pittsburgh can bring heat, although they blitzed a lot less so far this season. And Aaron Rodgers, of course, very good with getting the ball out of his hand quickly. So, if you can cover and hold that coverage enough, then the pass rush could and should get home, and that's going to be critical for Pittsburgh in this game. Defensively, I wouldn't call the Packers defense great, but there certainly are some really key players at different levels on this team. It starts up front with Kenny Clark, their nose tackle. He'll play up and down the line, and one of the you know toughest, I think, interior defense linemen in football. Probably one of the more underrated names as well. Kind of has a similar style and the same number 97 as Cam Hayward, kind of that really physical bull rush kind of a guy. And so you certainly would expect the Packers to play a lot of head up and shade over Kendrick Green to really test him. Green's going to have to play a whole lot better than he did against the Bengals in this one, but it's a tough matchup. So trying to make sure you're combo blocking and double teaming a guy like Kenny Clark, running away from him when possible. If you run at Kenny Clark and you have solo base blocks with really anybody, but especially Kendrick Green, you're going to be in for a long day. They'll play tight fronts. They'll have bare fronts where they cover up the center and both guards to really make it tough to run between the tackles. They'll play some quarters defense, so the safeties have a more shallow depth to help out in the run game as well. So I think it's a maybe a little bit easier chance here to run the football compared to the Bengals, who really sold out well against the run against heavier packages. But if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm trying to spread the field out. I'm putting the Packers in their sub package defense instead of having 3 defensive linemen on the field to probably help myself from an angle standpoint and a double team standpoint on a guy like Kenny Clark. If they're in base, it's going to be harder, I think, to get those double teams on Kenny Clark. And so that's the number one guy to watch in this run game is number 97 for the Packers. Packers pass rush has really been quiet this season. They're definitely missing their top guys. Darius Smith, who's not going to play in this one, has not played since week 1. He's on IR, but still some talent up front with guys like Preston Smith. Rashawn Gary's gotten some pressure. He's not been able to convert into sacks, but hopefully this team in pass pro can do a better job because the Packers pass rush, I wouldn't say is as strong as where the Raiders were at, where the Bengals were at either. So maybe that tips scales in Pittsburgh's favor a little bit this week. We'll see who they're starting though. I mean, we'll see if Joe Haig or Zach Banner's going to be at right tackle. Banner will he get activated or not? You may know that by the time you're listening to this. Again, that decision should be made one way or the other on Saturday. I don't know that right now here on Friday night, but that's going to be key, of course, giving Ben time to create some big chunk plays because this offense does not feel like one that can go, crisp, clean, efficient 10, 12 play drive. So splash plays are going to be the name of the game until this run game improves, until this offense finds a more consistent footing. So that's big plays in the pass game, whether that's a deep ball, a PI, run after the catch, something like that. And defensively, special teams, those guys making big plays as well. Kind of the blueprint, the way this team won in week one against Buffalo. That's going to have to continue. A very similar theme to 2019 when this team lost, Ben, where you're going to have to get big chunk plays, and that's going to be the MO to try to be competitive and win some games. So overall, my predictions have been worth a whole lot of nothing this year. I'm 0-3 on predictions. I imagine a lot of Steeler fans are probably in the same boat, though, to be honest with you. But whatever it's worth, I got Green Bay winning this one 27-17. Man, if Pittsburgh wins this game, kudos, that'd be great. It'll be a very tough team to figure out if they beat Buffalo and Green Bay and have losses to the Raiders and the Bengals. Not granted, I think the Raiders and the Bengals are better teams than people thought coming into this year. But however they can get it, I'll be happy with it. First down offense has to be better. They're 31st in first down offense. They have so many negative plays. They're behind the sticks so often. The Steelers offense is, and so getting rid of that negativity is going to be really critical in this game. But overall, I think that Packers offense just too strong. I mean, even assuming the Steelers defense keeps the score down a bit, I mean, you're probably going to have to score 24, 26 points to win this game. And I just don't see this offense being in a place to do that on the road in Lambeau right now. Hopefully I'm wrong, but there's been little evidence to prove and show otherwise so far this season. So that's my prediction. Let me know your prediction below. Again, Packers, I believe, winning this one 27-17. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.